can you explain? You did not set out to be a professional landlord, correct?
No, no.
You
So
didn't.
um my mom died in 2018, and then my dad was living in the house and he is disabled, but my sister is um not doing well in life. She's an addict and she was sort of taking care of my dad, but she brought in some other people and one of them almost sort of took over. They pretty much kicked her out. So they,
They kicked your sister out and they took over your parents' house. So
yes.
your mom died and your dad was still alive?
So my dad was still alive, but he had Parkinson's and a
Parkinson.
lot. He was really, really bad off. He was in a wheelchair, couldn't walk, could barely talk. Like you could barely understand him. It was like really, really bad, like stammering, and he couldn't do anything for himself. And adult protective services were called many times because it was deplorable living conditions and absolute filth. I mean, filth, like you, like human waste, and like it was absolutely awful. The police were called by the neighbors multiple times. The girl would be passed out in the yard,
In
and
the
they,
yard, passed
oh yeah,
out in the
in
yard.
the driveway, the
In the
yard,
driveway.
fighting outside, and like
Fighting. Okay.
so much
Like
chaos,
fighting or just like people yelling?
screaming. And my neighbor, or I mean, the neighbors there, they tried to take some video and stuff. And she sent me one video of the girl being like dragged into the house, like unconscious.
Oh my God.
My dad, he basically told me, he's like, I just want to stay here. He's like, I'm going to stay here. I just want to stay here. I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to leave my house. Then my dad died. He died May of 2021. He died. And I said, okay, great. Thanks for all your help. Goodbye. Um, and they, her and this other guy, they were like, no, we live here now. And he put up all these no trespassing signs outside, and he'd be outside like yelling, ranting to anyone outside, this is my property. And I contacted some lawyers about how to start an eviction process for people who have no lease and no rights to be anywhere and have paid not 1 cent. And they all just, by now it was like 2021, and they all just laughed and said, good luck with this in Seattle. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. I was like, well, I need to sell the house. I have to, because they owe $1 bazillion in a reverse mortgage that they took out.
So can you tell me a little bit more, like what did the lawyers say to you
So
when you called and said, "Hey, look, I need to evict these people. They're in my house. They're doing drugs. They're fighting on the lawn. There's people passed out
yeah,
on the lawn.
yeah,
The
yeah.
police are getting called by the neighbors all the time." And the lawyers said,
So the lawyers would say, yeah, we can start something, but it's going to, like, there is really, the 3-day notice to quit based on illegal activity. Somebody literally needed to have been like murdered in front of a police officer in order for that. He goes, drug activity, suspected drug activity is not going to do it. People passed out outside is not going to do it. Coming and going of 800 cars a day is not going to do it. Fighting isn't going to do it. He goes, none of that is going, at this point, none of that is going to do it. I have
none of
a
that would
report.
meet the bar for
Right.
eviction under the eviction moratorium
Yes.
because that didn't rise to the level of an imminent threat to
Right.
health and
Yeah.
safety. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay.
Yes.
And there was no other provision for evicting someone other than the imminent threat to health and safety.
Yes. No. And the house ended up selling.
Oh, you did sell it,
Yes.
but you
But
still
they're
have
still
to.
in it. I sold it with them there because somebody was willing to buy it because I could not. I was like, I have to sell it. I can't.
Right.
Reverse mortgage people wanted their money. They were just going to take it.
Do you
They're
have
still
an
going to.
estimate on like how much money this process cost you, like between lawyers' fees and like whatever kind of loss you took on the house? Do you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so much. I mean, I
You got
probably
a
took
number?
$250,000 loss on the house
$150,000 loss on the
based on
house.
what I could have gotten had it been able to be emptied and
Sold
cleaned and not sold with squatters in it. They're squatters. That's what I mean. They're just drug addicts and squatters living in a house that they have no business being in. And they're the fact that falls under the same umbrella policy that a tenant who has fallen on hard times, like the fact that they've made a policy that covers such a spread of things.
There's no
And
distinction. Yeah, no distinction.
no, my friends and my family and stuff, they were like, you're getting bad advice. You can't just live in a house that you have no rights to and not pay bills. You're getting bad advice. And I'm like, no, I'm not. This is just, these are the laws. This is the way it is in Seattle. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
And I paid a lot of money to be told that over and over again.
To get the next story as soon as it comes out, click like and subscribe.